My husband flipped because our son doesn't want to eat green beans. Now, he'll be served with jail food. I, 27, have 2 children with my husband, 37. We have our son who is 3 and our newborn daughter is only 2 weeks old. Before having our daughter, I was primarily in charge of day-to-day things for our son, including meals. My son is not a picky eater, but there are a few foods he just really doesn't like, the main of which are green beans and sweet potatoes. He will eat every other vegetable with no fuss, but not those. I actually like green beans, and I still like to eat them from time to time, so usually when I make them it's just for myself, and my husband and I will make our son a different vegetable. It's not a big deal to me. Well, since giving birth, I've had to take some time for just the baby, so my husband has been doing a lot more for our son at home. It's been pretty okay until last night. Around dinner time my husband was watching our son while I made dinner. I made baked chicken with sides, one of which is green beans. I left my husband to feed our son without thinking of reminding him about his preferences. So a few minutes later was in the baby's nursery breastfeeding when I heard my son start crying. Again, he isn't a fussy kid, so I thought briefly about going out to see what was going on, but I decided against it. Well, he didn't stop crying, and it eventually turned to absolutely wailing. I thought maybe he hurt me and went out there. What I saw was my son sitting at the table, snot and tears all down his face, and my husband leaning over him. I was like, what is going on? My husband snaps that he won't effing eat. My son started to say mommy and try to explain, but he was cut off by my husband yelling at him, yelling at our 3-year-old son, to stop whining for me. I asked my son why he didn't want to eat. He sobbed to me he doesn't like green beans. I've never really seen my son cry like that, and I guess maybe the nursing hormones got to me because it really broke my heart. I told him he didn't have to eat the green beans and that he could just have whatever else he wanted that I made. He wiped his nose and spit the green beans out and was literally scared to ask for a different vegetable. My husband cursed, threw a chair over, and stormed out. My son took a while more to calm down, but he ate his broccoli and the rest of his dinner just fine. I ended up putting him and the baby to bed all alone. While putting him to bed he said sorry to me. I told him he didn't have to apologize. He said that daddy made him eat the green beans and they made his stomach hurt. My heart was just broken. When I could finally ask my husband what happened, he was still mad. He told me that I obviously cater to what my son wants and he didn't realize how bad it was. He told me he's now going to make sure that our son doesn't grow up spoiled. I tried to explain that having a preference for food doesn't make you spoiled. He just doesn't like effing green beans. I told my husband that he himself doesn't like fish and I don't force feed him fish, but he said that's different and our son should be grateful for what he has. He told me that I should have never come out there and fixed the problem for him just because he cried, "Mommy." I told my husband he was being unnecessarily cruel to a 3-year-old child who just wanted dinner. He just laughed in my face. I know he is not a perfect father, and I do not claim to be a perfect mother, but this was too far for me. Am I the a-hole for being so mad over it? Update. In retrospect, I always knew my husband was an angry man. I knew it was only a matter of time until his anger spilled to me, and then to our children. When it happened to me I thought I could handle it. When it happened to my son it broke my heart. So I left. And he's tried to make me regret it every day, but I haven't. My son is happier, safer. My daughter won't grow up being scared of him and walking on eggshells, like I am. I thought the divorce and custody was going to be hard and messy. Luckily, or unluckily, my husband decided to smack me in the face in front of a police officer. It's all been pretty simple now. It is hard, but if you're in a situation like this, you can do it too.